Oh yeah. Let that fog fall in. Let that smoke fall in. Hey everybody, how you going? My name's Braden, and welcome to Lykos. Well, this isn't Lykos. This is my sister's room. Look how cool it looks though. I was like, let's film in my room, but my room doesn't look as like atmospheric as this. Now, welcome to a video, the first video in a little mini series I'm doing called Camera Basics. Yeah, I know, how original. Camera Basics. Yeah, Peter McKenna did it. Now, in this series, we're going to be looking at things such as aperture, ISO, shutter speed, white balance, frames per second, maybe frames per second. Now, if you don't know what any of those are, or maybe you only know one of them, that's good. Stay. That's what this whole series is about. Come with me. I'll teach you. I'll be a teacher. You'll enjoy what we're talking about. I'm gonna be a fun teacher. No exams. Maybe. Now today, the reason why you're here, you've probably seen the title and you're like, oh, I don't know what that is. We're talking about aperture. Woo! Now aperture, or Fstop, or T-stop, for anyone who doesn't know, is pretty much the little pupil in your camera. Now see the little black thing in your eye, the human pupil, the eye pupil. That's how light gets into your eye and how light gets into your camera, is through the pupil of the camera. That's what I call it anyways. All right, let's do a little science experiment, shall we? Grab a friend, if you don't have a friend like me, grab a mirror and look at your eye, or your friend's eye, and get them to close one of their eyes. So you'll close your eye, and then wait for about 15 seconds. And when you open your eye, you'll see that the little pupil in your eye will change size. Most likely it'll shrink because it's accommodating for how much light there is coming into the eye, because it was just in the dark, so it's opened up the pupil so that more light can get in. That's why when you step outside after being in the dark for so long, you're like blinded because your eyes are actually trying to adjust, just like a camera would, except a camera can do it a lot faster than our pupils actually can. And it's sort of the same feeling actually. If something's overexposed in your camera, you're like, ah! Oh, it's disgusting! And then when you walk outside into the sun and it burns your eyes, like, ah! Yeah. But see, the difference between the camera and eye with our pupils is that the camera uses shutter blades. If you grab a camera with a lens on it, and you have a look at the little pupil inside of it, and you start messing with the f-stop, going up and down, you'll see the shutter blades at work, opening and closing. Now, if you look back here at the bokeh and all these little lights, you'll see how a perfect circle, they're a perfect little circle, and that's because of the 9 shutter blades. Hey, Braden from the future here, editing Braden. Apparently, when recording this, I knew nothing about shutter blades. So, on this website I was reading, turns out that, yeah, most high-end lenses have 9 shutter blades, but you can have, some lenses can have 5 or 6 shutter blades, others can have 9 or even 14 shutter blades. Less expensive lenses usually have 4 or 6 shutter blades, which most people don't like, but it's more of an artistic personal preference. So yeah, back to Braden in the video. The more dressed up Braden in the set. You can get lenses with not so many shutter blades, and then these little lights back here end up turning into hexagons and all that. Not so circular, but more rigid on the edges. And then if you get an anamorphic lens, these little circles back here actually become ovals. And that's one of the defining looks of an anamorphic lens, is the little oval bokehs in the background. And that's why a lot of people, including me, love anamorphic lenses. Now, the way we actually measure how big or small the pupil is on the camera, the aperture, is through f-stop or t-stop. So the f-stop is the ratio of the lens's focal length to the diameter of the entrance pupil. So for the beginners, the f-stop is pretty much how big or small the iris is in the camera. So at the moment, my iris is at f1.7, and that's the lowest my lens can go. The highest it can go is f22, and that's pretty much as high as a regular lens can go, besides special lenses that can go up to f32. But I'm pretty sure they're like pretty expensive lenses, and I can't imagine anyone actually using f32. So at f1.7, the pupil of the lens is actually extremely wide open, and that lets in a ton of light. And see, if you turn my f-stop down now, you wouldn't be able to see anything behind me, besides maybe that lamp, which is really overexposed at the moment. You'd be able to see that really well. More smoke. Now, another reason people love to use low f-stops is because of this beautiful blurry background, the bokeh, as you may. And one of the reasons why I can have my f-stop so low inside is because there's not much light in here. So if I was to take the camera outside and to point it up at the sky, it'd be completely blown out. It'd look disgusting. And that's because there's so much light being let into the camera that just completely overexposes the image. Now, if you were to bring that aperture down, that f-stop down, everything will be properly exposed. But then you have the problem of there being a very deep plane of field. Not only would I be in focus, but the sky would probably be in focus. Which is really annoying when he's trying to get really cinematic footage of just the subject, trying to disconnect them from the background. And one way of fixing that is using an ND filter. Now an ND filter is pretty much sunglasses for your camera. It's a little screw-on filter that you throw onto your camera. That's a piece of glass that's tinted like sunglasses, and that actually darkens the image so you can pull your f-stop down so you can get that nice shallow depths of field like I have here with the beautiful bokeh. I need to wet my hair again. I look like Doc from the Back to the Future. Oh, it's a tiny bit better. Now you may be wondering what the difference between f-stop and t-stop is, and there isn't a huge difference. See, t-stop is a lot more mathematical, dialed down version of f-stop. So let's say you're in a math test, and one of the questions is 10 plus 10. Yeah, we're in like primary school math test, calm down. So f-stop would kind of be like if you just answer it out of the blue without using a calculator or anything. So 10 plus 10 equals 19, yeah? Now you're pretty sure you know that that's the right answer, but you won't actually know until you use a calculator. So that's pretty much f-stop. Somebody's guessed. It's not really a guess because it is right. It's not an exact decimal point of what the f-stop should really be. And t-stop would be if you're answering that question with a calculator. 10 plus 10 equals, let's test it. Woo, look how cool that looks. 10 plus 20 equals not 20. Oh yeah. Can you tell I didn't pass grade 1? So by using a calculator, you get the exact answer. And that's why most of the lenses that use t-stop instead of f-stop are really expensive, because the way they measure aperture is dialed down to the absolute t-stop instead of the f-stop. F-stop's pretty darn close, but t-stop is just like spot on. It's the mathematical, scientific, to the point way of measuring aperture. More smoke! More smoke! It's so creepy because it just like slowly rises around me. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have used smoke for this. So that's pretty much everything about Aperture that I know. There's a lot more scientific stuff, but that's the bare necessities that you need to know for now. For now to start making movies and videos and all that, start using a camera. Sorry about the video being so choppy. Apparently I don't know how to do words. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. If you didn't, thanks for watching. Free view for me. If you got any questions, drop them down in the comments and I'll answer them. But hey, hope everyone has a good day, good night, good afternoon, good winter, good spring. I don't know what time or where you're watching this. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao. Bye. See you later. Konnichiwa. Bye.